Greetings ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my patch 8.3 Shadow Priest PvP Arena Guide. We'll keep this very straightforward. There are two ways of playing Shadow Priest right now. You can play Crit Haste or you can play Haste Versatility. They're both pretty good, but I prefer Haste Versatility and I'm here to pitch it, and here's why it's better. So, Crit Haste, what are the advantages? You definitely do more damage with Crit Haste when you're completely free casting, because when you're free casting a lot, you're gonna summon a lot of ghosts. The more crit you have, the more ghosts you have, the more ghosts you have, the more value you get out of your Spiteful Apparition trait, which is the core of playing Crit Haste. You play Crit Haste not for, critting with your Mind Blast, which, helps if you have a Whisper of the Damned, but that's not the idea. The idea is you get as many ghosts as possible, which tend to do a lot of damage because of your Spiteful. Now, Spiteful got nerfed, Auspicious Spirits got nerfed, the interaction between them got nerfed, everything got nerfed. Crit Haste is just not as good as it used to be, and even when it was better, I would still say Haste Versatility was superior, and here's why. When you play Haste Versatility, you don't really care about VTs. You can do quite a lot of damage by just Shadow Word Paining everyone. Shadow Word Pain, Shadow Word Pain, Shadow Word Pain. So you don't rely on casts as much, and as you might be aware of if you play Shadow Priest, Shadow Priests are very juicy and appealing targets, and a lot of times we're gonna be focused, trained down, and cucked in a major way. You don't always get to sit there and just cast VT like you would in a Mythic Plus. So for that reason, I think Haste, not just that reason, Versatility also makes you do more damage with your essences. It makes you do more damage with your trinkets if you have damage trinkets, and I'm pretty sure it makes your corruption do more damage as well. Not only that, but you also take less damage when you play Versatility, and it's just overall better. You're more tanky, you do more damage. What is there not to like? So I think Haste Verse is superior. That was my pitch, and here's how to play it. First of all, talents. We're gonna go through this really quickly. First tier, Shadowy Insight, always. Second tier, Intangibility, always. Third tier, Misery, always. But why do you go Misery if you don't cast VT? Because everything else is trash. When you have time and you can cast VTs, Misery frees a lot of globals. So Misery is still the best tier for sure. Fourth tier, they're all pretty good. Depends what comp you play, but most of the time I say stick with Psychic Horror. It's usually the best one. Fifth tier, Shadow or Death, all the time. I played Shadow Crash, it's great, I love it, but Shadow or Death is just so much better. And Auspicious Spirits, if you play Crit Haste, you play Auspicious Spirits, but for Haste Verse, you play Death. For this tier, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th tier, Mindbender and Lingering Insanity are both really good, I like them both. When I play Lingering Insanity, I tend to just focus more on doing AoE pressure, AoE damage, not just damage, but it gives you more haste overall, so you can just cast Mass Dispel, Mind Controls, your Mind Blast has a slight shorter cooldown because of the extra haste. But if you play a very setup based comp, Mindbender is pretty good. I like Mindbender a lot in 2v2, especially in double DPS 2v2. And then on the last tier, you always go Legacy of the Void. Now for PvP talents, you want to play Gladiator's Medallion all the time, because a lot of times you have to pair it with a life swap, unless you're a human, in which case you can go and play Relentless most of the times. For the actual PvP talents, you always lock in Greater Fate and Void Origins, and for the third one, it's optional. I mean, they're all optional, obviously you can play whatever you want, but for the third one, it's generally Siphon, Driven to Madness, or Mind Trauma for me. They're all very strong. If you're not able to cast a lot, don't go Mind Trauma, and if you're playing against double melee and you know they're gonna sit on you, it's fine to go Driven to Madness. Usually I'd say I usually play Driven to Madness more than Siphon, but I don't know which one's better. I think Driven to Madness is probably better, so I should probably recommend that one. But Siphon is really juicy, especially at not so high rating when people don't kill it instantly. Now, let's move over to Neck Essences. There's so many random things to go through. Neck Essences. The major one is always going to be Conflict and Strife. You lock that in, it gives you life swap, and the passive and everything else, the conflict, the strife, is so good. You get a lot of versatility, you can do some plays, you can make some plays like Dispel someone right before you're about to get kidneyed and you take a lot less damage. There are some situations where I will experiment with other main essences, and some quite successful results. You guys can experiment with them and tell me if you find anything juicy out there. But 99% of the cases, Conflict and Strife is locked in and it's super OP. And for the small ones, I'm not really sure. A lot of them are good. Sometimes Lucid Dream is good, but this is what I play right now and I kind of like it. I play Purification Protocol, I play Breath of the Dying, and I play Condensed Life Force. The reason why I play these random damage procs is from the random damage procs of the essences, you can proc your random corruption. So the more random stuff you're throwing out there, the more chance you get of fishing other random procs, and they just proc off each other and you do infinite damage. Just press one Shadow Word Pain and then you don't have to do anything because you start summoning these ghosts that randomly proc, and then the random proc of the ghost procs a random damage from my Psyche Shredder, which is my trinket, which randomly procs my thingy here from my chest, which can randomly proc like another one, which can proc something else. It's just a random. Okay, nothing's procking right now. It's kind of unlucky, but you know what? There's a proc which could proc a tentacle, for instance. It just didn't happen. But yeah, that's what I play in my neck. And now for my traits. If you go Haste Verse, which is what I'm preaching right now, the best traits are Death Throes and Thought Harvester. Good luck getting these on your other two pieces other than your helm, because they don't really exist. I have one from the Black Empire Cache, which was really lucky I got one, but it's low eye level, it's 450, which, you know, would have been great last season, but right now it's kind of low item level. And then this one is again from last season, it's a 450. Usually you just care about the Death Throes, and then the other one, if you can get Thought Harvester, that would be insane. But again, it doesn't really exist. There's only this one and the one from Heroic Warfront that can have both of these. Other than that, again, just go for Death Throes, and the random one doesn't really matter. Just look for the inner one. On My Way is really good. The Resounding Protection is really good. This one's not great. Just go for defensive ones, mostly. But Death Throes, always the best. If you're playing Crit Haste, you want to stick to what everyone was playing, which is Spiteful, Death Throes. 3 of each. Those are the best if you play Haste Crit. Now for trinkets, there's so many good trinkets in PvE. I have a Psyche Shredder and a very, very low item level Obsidian Claw because I'm never lucky. But there's so many, I don't really know. Spite, you can make some plays with it. Psychotronic Blast is really nerfed, it's not really that good. I don't know, the Emblem is pretty strong, Maledict is still good. You can play with stuff like this one, the Versatility, you can play like Versatility and Emblem. If there's comps that kill you really fast, you can treat both of them as kind of a defensive. You know, this one gives you more Versatility, which is a defense and offense. And then this one obviously gives you HP, and they're on different cooldowns, so you can use both of them. There's stuff like that you can do, but there's a million good trinkets. Just pick whatever one you have and you'll be fine. Now, did we discuss everything that you're required to set up? So there's neck, traits, cloak. Just get as high as you can in your cloak. Corruption. Yes, another random stuff on your gear. Corruption. I think the best one is probably Infinite Stars and Tentacles. And Gushing Wound. Gushing Wound is the best. If you get Gushing Wound, oh, so good. If you get like a bunch of Gushing Wound everywhere, you just win the game. But Tentacle is good. Infinite Stars is really good. Those are the best. And then just, yeah, good luck with Corruption. That's pretty much it for how you set up the Priest. Now, how do you play Shadow Priest? Now, I've made a Shadow Priest guide on how to play when you're getting trained. I feel like it came out really good. I have a lot of, I think, very useful tips in there that would help a lot of people. Even myself, when I was making it, I was, oh yeah, that does make a lot of sense. Yeah, I should probably do that more. But the TLDR, when you're getting trained, you don't want to spam cast. There's no real reason to try and get through a million kicks. You just Shadow Word Pain everyone, and then you spam instants. You spam shield, you spam purge, and that's it. When you're in void form, a lot of things are instant. When you're in void form, your void bolt is instant. The Mind Blast, the instant Mind Blast that procs obviously is instant. Void Eruption itself is instant. Your silence, your stun, your fear, your whole go, your big setup is all instant. You know, let's say X is the healer, Skull is the DPS, and you're playing a more setup based comp. You're ready. Let's say you have only Shadow Word Pain on your main target. There you go. You have a Void Eruption. And if your partner is ready to go, you can do, you know, let's say he provides the stun on the main DPS. You can silence the healer, you can Shadow Fiend, Void Erupt, Void Bolt, stun the healer, and then press a bunch of instants, whatever you have. You know, you can fear the healer out of that. Do this, you can use your trinket. Did I just proc an Infinite Stars on this poor little spider and kill them? I think I did. It's very unlucky for the spider. But that's pretty much it for the setup. And then if you don't play a setup based comp and you play something like shadow play, where by the way it's very fine to play crit haste in shadow play, then you want to just dot everything and play it like it's a mythic plus. Just literally do the most damage you can, stay in void form as long as you can, and ultimately the idea is you want to get as many void bolts as possible. And you always do a void bolt, 2 globals, void bolt, 2 globals, void bolt, 2 globals, void bolt. So you can do mind blast, half a mind flay, void bolt, shield, let's say purge, void bolt, instant mind blast, another purge, void bolt. That's it. It's void bolt, 2 globals, void bolt, and that's all you do when you're in void form. When you're out of void form, you just spam whatever gives you the most insanity. If they're stacked, you just mind zero. If you're playing, AOE, and make sure you have dots on everyone, and you're gonna do a lot of damage as a Shadow Priest still. Even after all the nerfs, you do a lot of damage when you keep your dots up properly. And that's pretty much it. It's very simple. It's very basic, easy guide. There's not a lot of things that have changed, other than Shadow Priest got nerfed, but in terms of gameplay, nothing really has changed. And I have a bunch of videos that I've made in the past. Again, I'll link the one of how you can play when you are getting trained down in the description. So I suggest you actually check that out. It's not just self-promotion. You know what? I'll have it in the end. I'll have it right now. Bam! There it is. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. And I hope you found this video useful. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace!